Well, we'll prove it to you. Here are the highlights from today's ball game.
Yeah, again, Lafayette got off to a terrific start early on, and this young man, I'll tell you, Darius Wilson, he was just on fire. He is such a dynamic player. He got a great arm. Lafayette gets a score right here as Schuster pushes it over the line, and then how about Yoder? I mean, this guy is just, he's a load to bring down. I mean, he's a big, strong running back, and then the interception by Du Bois. And this looked like for a moment it was going to the house. Yoder never gives up on the play and tackles him from behind. Gary, that was very nearly a pick six. And this was a huge play right here. That was this faulty snap that went off of the hip of the man in motion. From there on, William and Mary just pinned its ears back defensively, and there was no time at all. Lafayette could not even muster a first down. Yoder again doing all kinds of good work. Look at the offensive line, the hole he had. When he didn't have the hole, he would get yards on his own. William and Mary, number 15th in the country for good reason. This team, arguably, well, I think it's pretty clear they're the best we've seen so far.
Thanks, Gary. Down here with Coach Troxell. Coach, you knew the independent schedule was not going to be easy. It's designed as a series of tests for these Leopards. First half took a lot of positives away.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, offensively, we're growing as an offense. I mean, this guy right here, Juju, had a heck of a game. I'm sure he was over 100 yards receiving. Schuster did a nice job of getting the ball out of his hands. Up front, we got to keep getting better, and we got to protect them a little bit better. But I mean, the kids, they fought, you know what I mean? And that's, we're getting better. 3
games into your tenure, what are you learning about this team?
Well, I mean, I think you can see that we can play with anybody. We got to stay healthy. We don't have a ton of depth. But in terms of the kids, I mean, we got great kids here. And we're going to build this thing brick by brick.
What's the next step for you as you head into Penn next week and then the Patriot League schedule in 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of continuing to get better. I mean, there's nobody that we can't play with. Again, we have a really good defense. That was a really good football team we played today. I just said to the kids, I mean, I think they're a CAA championship type team, and they're big and strong. And, I think it's someone we want to model ourselves after down the road.
Yeah, big team, powerful conference. You had your hands full coming in.
Yeah, no doubt. But we're going to come back and fight hard next week.
Appreciate it, Coach. Good luck against Penn. Julius Young, senior receiver on this team, 9 catches for 102 yards. Julius, I want to ask you about your role as a senior on this team to try and pick up the team and be a motivator on offense.
Well, yeah, I'm just trying to be a leader. I'm one of the older guys, and there's a lot of new faces. There's always like the new freshmen and the new coaches, so I'm just trying to lead by example and just be a leader and be vocal for my team.
And you have a freshman quarterback that you're part of his education process. What does that look like?
Just trying to be on the same page in communication. I feel like a big thing is about communication. He tells me what he sees, what he feels. I tell him what I see, what I feel, and just communicate with him,
All the way from Houston, Texas, back before your freshman year. Tell me about your Lafayette experience so far.
I loved it. It's a lot different in Texas than it is in PA, but I've been here for 4 years, so I've gotten used to it. But yeah, it's been great.
Very good. Thanks, Julius. Appreciate it. Gary, 9 catches for 102 yards as the Lafayette offense was really clicking in the first half. Back up to you.
All right, Scott, thank you. We'll send it right back to Scott very shortly. Ryan Schuster, 14 for 23 for 151 yards today. He was sacked 5 times, so that number is up to 16 in 3 games. That's too many. Julius Young, Juju, had 9 catches for 102 yards, 11.3 yards per catch average. Nothing wrong with that. We saw a lot of positives in that first half. You protect the quarterback, he'll make the completions. When the protection breaks down, it becomes that much tougher. Certainly on the other side, Bronson Yoder with 134 yards rushing, 17 carries. And Lucas didn't quite get to 100 yards, 91 on the day. My thanks to John Leone and certainly to our director, Chris Zaya, as we're going to call it a night and send it down to Scott Barr and also Phil Ing. Take it away, guys.
Phil, we just talked to Julius Young about his relationship with freshman quarterback. You well know what that relationship means. Your chemistry with Frank Bauer was legendary here at Lafayette. Where are these two headed?
Well, they're only heading in the right direction, right? It's going to take some time. Obviously, with Frank, myself, we had time, we had years. This is, a little bit different in that, he had last year with a different quarterback that he was trying to get used to all last year, and now coming in, he's got Ryan Schuster, who he's got to get used to again. And the timing will come, but it does take some time.
This William and Mary team came in here as one of the most physical teams we'll face all year from a very powerful conference. I mentioned to Coach that the independent schedule here is never easy. This was a huge test all the way.
It absolutely was. I mean, I think it was a little bit of a wake-up call for our defense. You know, we haven't seen a team that's been so well balanced. I think we're talking about it. You know, I don't know that I would call them explosive, but they just get yardage in bunches.
They really did all game long, especially in that second half. Again, talked with Coach about the first half and a lot of positives from there. It was clear that the physical nature of the William and Mary O-line and D-line really took a toll.
Yeah, I mean, defensively, I think we got a little worn down, and you can't blame them. You know, time of possession difference was obviously big. And then on the offensive side, you know, there were some halftime adjustments that they made. You know, I saw them playing a little bit more man-to-man. Also saw those defensive linemen getting their hands up. Couldn't complete those short passes like we did coming out that first drive when we basically marched down the field and scored to answer that opening score by William and Mary.
I'll ask you the same question I asked Coach Troxell. What is your assessment of this team as they head into not just Penn next week, but more importantly, the Patriot League schedule?
Yeah, I mean, I think good things. You know, obviously we've got a great defense. You know, it's just not getting kids hurt. Keeping them healthy. And I think, you know, the offense is taking strides. You know, we've got to be able to run the ball. Can't come out and have 30, 40 yards in a game. Hopefully that will come. Obviously, the injury to Olmstead was big, not only covering but blocking as well.
Yeah, and that was absolutely a big difference in this ballgame, and the speed difference became very evident in that second half.
Yeah, absolutely. You've talked about it, and you know, you've got speed, you've got athletes, and you've got a balance. I mean, you look at that. I think Darius, their quarterback, you know, he spread it out to 6 different wide receivers, but it wasn't just like, and I think we did the same, but it was the other ones had 1 reception. These guys had 3-4 receptions each, so it was just they're just a well-balanced team.
Definitely a team I'm going to keep following for the rest of the year, this William and Mary team. Impressive all the way around.
Yeah.
So 34-7 was the final. After a 17-7 halftime score where the Leopards missed a field goal at halftime that would have brought it within 17-10, it was just the physical nature of this William and Mary Tribe offense and defense that really put this one away. From Fisher Stadium at Fisher Field at Fisher Stadium, Scott Barr, Phil Eng, thanks for being with us. William and Mary 34, the Leopards 7.